internet family, welcome back for another Food Diary Friday, and this one is going to be a little bit different because this one is where I answer all of your questions. There was so much variety in questions, so we're going to be covering a lot of different topics in this video to do with eating disorder recovery and how to eat healthier, and I'll be sharing lots of my advice and also talking about some of my experiences with various kind of food and fitness situations. Let me know how you're doing down below, mentally, physically, anything you want to talk to me about to do with your journey to health. I've read through lots of the comments, but now I'm going to show you screenshots of some of the questions. It's going to be quite a long video, I think, so grab some tea or a snack and just snuggle up and let's have a chat, shall we? Samantha H asked how to be confident in yourself and to lose weight fast. Okay, so this is two different questions. One, how to lose weight fast. I don't think that this is possible, and here's why. You can drop a bunch of water weight and lose a bit of fat if you're trying to lose weight quickly, but it always comes back on and more. The one thing you do not want to do when you're looking to shift a bit of weight and get healthier is to push your body into that kind of starvation mode where it's conserving any food and energy that you do feed it after a famine period, because this is how our bodies work and it's been shown time and time again. This is why I don't believe in diets, and they do say that a healthy weight loss is about 2 pounds a week. Usually in the first week you lose a lot more because of water weight, but that's all I would ever recommend to you guys. Slow and steady wins the race every single time. I've tried before to lose weight quickly and it always involved cutting out a food group and eating a bit less and doing more exercise, but no, that's not sustainable and it's not good for you, so don't do it. When it comes to confidence, I have so much to say on that. I have a whole video about how to feel more confident in your body that I'm going to link down below for you guys to watch after this video. Laura Denton asked me, what is my favorite healthy, semi-healthy snack? Love your channel. Thank you so much. My favorite healthy snack, semi-healthy, would probably be dark chocolate with a mint flavor, so peppermint oil or something in the dark chocolate. I also love mango. My friend Riyadh from YouTube always tells me that if I was a fruit I would be a mango because I eat so much mango, you guys have no idea. Something else that I really like, which is a bit weird, is a baked sweet potato with peanut butter mashed into it. So you slice it open and you mash up the peanut butter. Like, don't judge me till you taste it. Oh my god, it's a game changer. The Ruku Shak asked me, do I compare my body to other girls' bodies? Sometimes I do, and I always remind myself that it's a very silly thing to do because I'm the only one of me that exists, they're the only one of them that exists, and they're likely doing the exact same thing. But yeah, sometimes if I'm standing next to one of my friends, a lot of my friends have incredible bodies, I won't necessarily judge my body against their body. So we're both standing here, I won't be looking at mine going, I wish I look more like this. I'll more so note the differences between us. Love, Joy and Music asked me, how do I deal with the hate now that I'm no longer vegan? I'm so angry on your behalf from all the hate you're getting. In the same way I deal with all the other kind of hate that YouTube trolls send my way. I just accept that not everybody's going to agree with me, not everybody's going to like me, not everybody has to like me, and I try and empathize with people when they are cruel and angry and they're lashing out online because they're obviously very unhappy in their real life. Yeah, I don't hate the haters, you know, some of them think that they're doing a good thing, but yeah, ignore. And I focus on the nice comments. I focus on the positive comments from you guys saying that my food videos help your self-esteem, help you feel better, help you stop fearing food. All that stuff means way more to me. Like, you have to focus on the positive stuff in your life, because if you look at the negative things, you're just going to attract more of that towards you, and then that's going to fill up your head. You have a choice over how you feel and how you think. Destin Cook asked, just wondering how you deal with body image. I myself deal with body dysmorphia. Some days I feel like I look tiny, and sometimes I feel like I look 5 dress sizes bigger, and I'm struggling with how to cope. Do you know how I can cope with this? I love your channel so much. Thank you very, very much. I struggled with body dysmorphia for a very, 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 very long time. Even when I started my channel, I was really, really slim. I'll show you some footage here, and I remember editing those videos thinking I was huge, and I was like, how can I put this on the internet? And I was trying to figure out how to crop the images in a certain way. I was trying to stand a certain way and sit a certain way to make myself look smaller. So for those of you who don't know, body dysmorphia involves you looking at yourself and seeing something that isn't there, like you're really not viewing yourself in the way that another person would, and it's heartbreaking. I will be completely honest and say that that is not completely gone. I feel like a lot of people who struggle with body dysmorphia, a tiny element of it will remain. I know that the odd time I will still see myself as the biggest that I ever was, but then I remind myself why that doesn't matter. I really think therapy and talking to a professional is really important with body dysmorphia. It's one thing that I don't think you can tackle that on your own, just from my experience. Getting over that for me involved looking at why being bigger was a problem to me in the first place, or why I was valuing so much being small and skinny and tiny. It's just these words that society throws out there. It's like, you should be this, and this is good, and this is bad. You need to educate your mind on what's normal and what's healthy for you. I think looking at my body, like really looking at it and just standing naked in front of a mirror and accepting and learning to accept all the little flaws was important. And also like positive affirmations every day and using positive mind language. Maddie Roberts asked me, do I think that teenagers should worry about what they eat? One of my close friends is all about eating healthily, but to be honest, I don't mind too much about what I eat. I'm only 15, so I think it doesn't matter too much right now. I don't think anyone should worry about what they eat. I just think people should definitely be a bit more conscious and just take baby steps towards making better choices. It's not something you need to get all up in arms about and worry about and stress yourself out about. If you guys do that, your mental health is just going to drop. So even if your physical health goes up, you're still not getting any healthier. You know what I'm saying? So don't worry about it at all. I think at this age, it is important to take little steps toward like trying new things. People seem to think that when they're younger, they can get away with eating a lot more and stuff, and while it's true that it doesn't necessarily show up as much, it will when you're older. I would give anything to go back and change my habits from when I was a teenager, because they were so bad. And during your formative years, that's when all of your body is like developing. So when you're a child and you're an adult, all your organs, everything is becoming what it's going to be. Tommy Eastlau, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. What do you do if you start to feel uncomfortable or insecure about a certain part of your body? For me, that's always been my tummy and my love handles. And more recently, it's been my thighs, and also the fact that one of my boobs is ever so slightly bigger than the other one, but that's normal. As soon as I start feeling insecure, I think a couple of things. Number one, I start questioning, why am I feeling insecure? I start looking at the root cause of where that insecurity is coming from. Number two, I remind myself that human beings come in all shapes and forms, and I look at pictures of the likes of Marilyn Monroe. She was regarded as the sexiest woman in the entire world, and she had little belly rolls, and she would do photo shoots and happily show off the fact that she had little belly rolls, even though she was tiny. I remind myself that all this goals and, the media presenting this one image of beauty oftentimes is just bullshit. It's just bullshit. And then I'll recall times that I felt confident, say with ex-boyfriends or just in any situations when I was being intimate with people. I will remember times where people made me feel good about myself and things that they said, and then I'll always remind myself too that it's in my power to change it if I really don't like it that much. But the reason I don't do 1,000 crunches a day is because I genuinely don't care that much about it. The insecurity is always coming from external sources, and it's like this ingrained thing into my mind from when I was young, and I used to just look at magazine covers of Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera and all this shite. Find body positive role models who look a little bit like you and follow them and look to them for some happiness inspiration. Melissa McNulty asked me, do I ever feel really guilty after having a treat food, or if I have more than I intended to eat? She said she's recovering from an eating disorder and always feels so guilty when she eats too much or has more than one treat meal a week. I used to, a lot. I definitely used to. I don't anymore. The odd time I'll get a little niggle of guilt if I eat until I don't feel very well. So I don't like eating past the point of like being full or stuffed. I like to just eat until I'm satisfied. So sometimes I think, oh, why did I do that? Because then I know that I'm going to feel tired. One thing I had to do during eating disorder recovery was to learn to stop guilting myself on eating foods that I deemed bad or put in my bad food category, because it's always gonna happen. And I didn't want to associate every meal out with my friends and family or every indulgence while I'm watching a movie as this guilt thing where I have to guilt trip myself or then restrict afterwards. So that's something that you have to go through a lot of therapy for. I think journaling your thoughts around it is really important, and just knowing that it's unnecessary. There's no reason to make yourself feel guilty because it doesn't accomplish anything other than stressing you and you know, again, affecting your mental health. Sophie Hardyman asked, how do you decide whether you are fat or not because of the constant pressure to be skinny in the media? Does a bit of fat on your stomach mean you are fat? Love you. Well, if a bit of fat on your stomach means you're fat, then I am fat, because let's just look at that, where my jean was digging into my belly. But look, I've got a little pooch. Okay, look, I don't like using the word fat. I just don't like using that word. I also don't like using the word skinny. I just think because I had years of negative associations with the whole concept of size, I just don't like to use those words. So when I was 19, when my doctor told me I was overweight, it was because I was over the recommended BMI thing. So body mass index is what a lot of people go by, and it's not a really good measure because it doesn't take into account muscle mass and, you know, what actually makes up your body. Generally, you'll know if you're not at a comfortable, happy, healthy size. You will feel comfortable and happy and healthy within a range once your mental health's okay, you know, so you're not having body dysmorphia or whatever. Most people know. For me, my healthy range is like between 9 and like 10 and a half, 11 stone, and I'm 5'6". So that's just my range where I feel the healthiest, and that also goes along with the BMI. But the BMI says that I can be a lot lower than 9 stone and still be healthy. I personally, because of my frame, feel a little bit weird and kind of gangly almost when I get to a certain lower weight. I prefer being a bit fuller and curvier, and I like having boobs, I like having a bum. That's just me personally. I like that little bit of fat. Don't label yourself as fat or skinny or okay or normal. Just find your healthy, happy medium and don't stress about it either. So this person asked me, what is your favourite food? Put this in your Q&A. It's in my Q&A. Are you happy? Oh goodness, my favourite food. Well, I have 2 meals that are like my absolute favourite meals in the world. Spaghetti carbonara, especially the one that they serve in Carluccio's restaurant. Carbonara with fresh pasta, egg, parmesan. It's got this just gorgeous, like almost buttery textured sauce. Then there's either pancetta or bacon in it as well, and that's the tastiest thing I've ever had. And banoffee pie is my favourite dessert, and every Christmas I make banoffee pie and I love it, and I always get that as dessert if it's on the menu as an option. Kig asked me, how do I stick to my diet? I want to start a healthy diet, but I'd start and think today's the day I start my diet, and then I'd see some junk food instead. What gives you motivation? I don't go on diets. I'm not on a diet. I eat whatever I want. Some weeks I'll have a cheat day. Some weeks I'll eat bold things every day. I'm just all about balance, and I have the 80-20 rule. I don't like rules, diet rules, but that one is a positive one because it enables me to fuel my body in the way it needs to be fueled with good food, and also then to indulge my brain in the taste sensations of the world. With motivation, I say remind yourself that every meal is a new meal. If you have junk food and you think, oh, the diet's ruined, woe is me, just remember, it's not. Your next meal is a fresh start. It's not even like every day is a new day. Literally, every time you eat something is a new chance to pick something good. Not every meal has to be perfect, but just start with the next one. So the next meal and the next meal, and tackle it that way. Never go, oh, I'm going to change my whole lifestyle, I'm going to give up fizzy drinks, I'm going to never eat chocolate again. If I eat crisps, I have to go for a 3-hour run. That's so stupid. It's so stupid. It doesn't work, and it just sends you crazy. So every meal is a new meal. I have an itchy face. Isobel Faulkner asked me, do I think it's natural to be super toned and healthy looking, abs, etc.? I struggle so bad with not being super fit looking. I eat healthy, but my tummy is so chubby with cellulite, sad face. What is natural totally depends on like the time period and the person and stuff. Some can argue that what was natural thousands of years ago to the human race is not natural now because humans live a lot longer now. We have a different environment. If you look at old paintings of people, they're knobbly bodies. They've got knobbly little bits of skin and flesh here and there, and they're beautiful, beautiful paintings. I went to the Picasso Museum when I was in Spain, and his portraits of humans' naked bodies really made me feel really good about myself. I felt so normal. I just wish everyone could just go to the Picasso Museum and put down your shitty gossip magazine. If someone has to go to the gym 2 hours a day or force themselves onto a restrictive diet where they're purposefully only eating certain things or cutting things out or whatever, I don't think that's natural. I don't think it is. I have never had muscle tone apart from when I did the 30-day shred exercise DVD. And while that kind of workout, high intensity interval training, those kind of workouts really do change your body and make it look all toned and stuff. What kind of animal would purposefully put itself through that, you know? So like, I'm not disagreeing with doing exercise. It's really good for you to have muscle on your body, and it's really good to kind of boost your metabolism and all that kind of thing. But natural? I mean, look at what's on my face right now. That's not natural at all. Don't worry if you've got a bit of chub on your tummy. Don't worry if you've got cellulite. Cellulite is so common. Even on stick thin people, they get cellulite. It's nothing to do with being fat. If you just drink a ton of water, you can really help with cellulite and just walking and doing squats and stuff. Paulina Anastasia asked me, I know you don't count calories, but how many approx do you eat in a day on average? Also, do you go to the gym? Love your videos, they are so calming. Thank you very much. I don't go to the gym. I've gone through periods of time where I go to the gym, but I have a bad association with the gym. I just don't really like it. I've never liked getting sweaty in front of a bunch of strangers, and the atmosphere is just very like an office or something. I like doing workouts at home sometimes, and or going to classes. They can be fun, or like cycling, running outside. Currently I haven't been doing much, I'll be honest. I've been walking loads and doing like little kind of circuit training sessions in my room a couple of times a week, but not much. In terms of calories, you're right, I don't count calories anymore, and I haven't for a long time, but I still know innately what's in, you know, everything. So if I make breakfast, if I put in a certain amount of oats and then a banana and peanut butter and all that kind of stuff, I'll just automatically know what's in it just from years of being obsessive about it. But I eat out a lot, and you know, I can't ever know what's in that kind of food. I'd estimate between 2,000 and 3,000 a day, and it varies and zigzags. I never eat less than, like, I always eat to the max. Amber H asked me, what are your favourite things to pack for a lunch on the go? I work in an office and I sometimes find it hard to come up with things to bring for my lunch. So when I used to have to bring in lunches with me, like to university, I loved pita bread, so like a wholemeal pita that I'd toast it and then I'd fill it with things and wrap that in cling film. On pita breads, I love hummus with chicken, peppers, cucumber, that kind of thing. Or like tuna mayo with sweet corn, smoked salmon and cream cheese with a bit of spinach or lamb's lettuce. There's so many different sandwiches that I like. Or I would make a pasta dish and put that in a little lunchbox, like a mini lunchbox, a tomato one with veggies in it and some protein. I love Pink Lady apples. I would eat granola bars. I like Naked bars. They're like a brand of raw food bars that we have here. Fresh fruit and like nuts. I love nuts that are like honey glazed, or they have like a kind of a sweet and salty glaze over them. It's so nice. Little mini bags of popcorn. Popcorn is really good. Mini portions of dark chocolate or dark chocolate bars. Erin asked me, how do I stay confident in all of my clothes? I struggle daily and sometimes change 2 or 3 times before I decide on something. I just feel huge and it stops me sometimes buying clothes. I definitely have an issue sometimes with clothes because my body shape is apple shaped, so I kind of try and dress in a way that flatters my body, and that's the best tip I can give. So for me, things that really suit me are like any dresses that nip in just like at your waist above the wide part of your down there, and then you know those kind of dresses that like floof out and they kind of like just give you that nice silhouette. I always go for stuff that's shaped that way. Or I will wear kind of baggy loose trousers with a tight top on, but then I'll wear a big loose like what are they called? A kimono. Also, if I wear jeans, like high-waisted jeans, they kind of tuck in my tummy, and then wearing a cardigan, like a waterfall kind of, it skims down past like my sides of my tummy. Assimilate a wardrobe of clothes that make you feel good, and know that a lot of the time it's in your head that you don't look good. Alyssa asked me, do I ever have body insecurity about my belly, especially during sex? And if so, what do I do to deal with that? This was one thing that was a huge issue for me in the past with ex-boyfriends, my 2 long-term ex-boyfriends. So 10 years of my life I was with these guys. Don't worry guys, I'm not going to spill any beans, but yeah, I even had an issue with them like touching my belly, or I would always try and kind of lie in a certain way, or like wear tops or keep like my top on and just take my bottoms off. I realized how silly that is. I realized how much I'm attracted to confidence and how I would not care about their flaws or their physical imperfections. I'd noticed that that would actually attract me to them, that they were just so comfortable with me and trusting of me to just bear all and be themselves with me naked. So I really wanted to do that too, and it took me a while to kind of build myself up to that. I slowly started, you know, where I'd get completely naked with the lights dimmed and this, that and the other. But I do think that during sex and, you know, with your confidence and stuff, it definitely depends on the person and how you are together. So someone who really makes you feel amazing, knowing that they're into you because of you and that they don't care about those kinds of things, it just makes you feel a lot more at ease about the idea of them just seeing you like bearing all. Currently, the way my body is right now, no matter what position I go into, you can see that I have got little love handles and I have a little belly there. And I remember one guy, like fairly recently, pointing it out to me, and it wasn't in a bad way. Like, he said it and then I was like, he just said something like, oh, you have so much to grab around your middle, and I was just like, excuse me. But then he was all kind of talking into my ear, being like, I love it, and I was like, yeah, you do. There's nothing sexier in the world than confidence and someone who just struts into a room and throws the clothes off and they're like, I'm ready. Work on being that person, because I didn't used to be and I am now, so it can be done. Mango Smoothie asked me, how did I get over binge eating and weight gain? There's two questions. So you can't get over weight gain. Weight gain can always happen and still does happen to me. I'm always ranging between a certain size. So throughout the month, like my menstrual cycle may determine that, or how much activity I'm doing, how much I'm eating, all those kinds of things. And it's fine. Like if I gain a bit of weight, if I lose a bit of weight, it's fine. Getting over binge eating though, I do think that's important to talk about. And it's a funny one, because it wasn't like an overnight thing, but when I stopped restricting, when I stopped dieting and, you know, trying to get my body to look a certain way, or trying to manipulate my calories or my food or whatever it was, when I just stopped all that and just tried to learn how to listen to my body and eat intuitively, when I got rid of that thinking, it stopped me from having the urge so much to binge. But also I had a lot of emotional issues. I had a lot of issues around control. I wanted control over something. I loved losing control as well. At a time in my life when I was being very controlling, so I was in my degree, I was a straight A student. Sometimes I loved the feeling of just letting go and just being like whatever and just eating and eating and eating, but it was not filling the hole I was trying to fill. And I learned that over time. And for a while I had to stop having the things in the house that I was tending to binge on. So for me, I was often binging on bowls of cereal, on white bread, so whatever bread we had actually, with like loads of toppings on it, and I would just eat tons and tons of toast with like Nutella or whatever. Certain foods that I just needed to not have around me so much. Like I would never binge on apples. I would never binge on bananas. Because I just get sick of eating them after a couple. Like I didn't want to have those. It was always that combination of carbs and fat that I was looking for to like mush in. So cereal with milk, or you know, whatever. And also again, time. So as I said, it didn't happen overnight. There was a long period of time where they were just becoming less frequent. So I was still binge eating for a very long time, but they were just slowly stopping. So I was trying to make sure that I ate enough of the things that I wanted and was craving, that I had previously been restricting. So I had been restricting meat, I'd been restricting cheese, I'd been restricting like junk food like cake and, you know, Pringles, all the things that I really liked. So I was making sure I was letting myself eat those whenever I had a craving for them, and that really helped me to stop binging over time. MC or Guitar asks how to identify the line between being conscious about your food intake and the start of an eating disorder, like when it becomes unhealthy. I love your videos, by the way. A lot of people thumbs this up, so I really wanted to include it. I'm leaving a link down below of all of the warning signs that you guys need to look out for eating disorders, because there's a very big difference when it starts getting to the point that it's taken over your brain and you start feeling bad, guilty, negative thoughts start coming in, you start being controlling, it starts impacting your actual life. There's a lot of different things, but that's going to be linked down below because it's very important and I want you guys to have that to return to, just in case things escalate, which I really don't want them to, and that's why I'm here. So Neve Crosby asked me, did you have to talk your brother and dad into eating vegetarian meals? Maybe she means when I was vegetarian. If I cooked a veggie meal for my dad and my brother, they would laugh in my face. Lol, any tips? I relate strongly to this. When I first went vegetarian, I was vegetarian for about 2 years, and then I was vegan for 1 or 2 years. I can't remember, I wasn't counting it. I actually ended up convincing my brother to go vegetarian with me as a kind of just experiment to see how it made us feel. And the way I got him to do that was that I promised him I would make him all the vegetarian meals so he wouldn't have to do any work. And my dad was just flat out against it. I think it's important to try and get your parents' support. So just explain to them why you want to be vegetarian and how much it means to you, and show them vegetarian options, so vegetarian versions of the meals that you guys usually eat. That's what I did. So I was making vegetarian lasagna and, you know, vegetarian curries. I let them taste the fake meats and stuff. So my dad would try the meals and he often enjoyed them, especially different pasta dishes and stuff. Show your dad and your brother this part of the video. Hi Neve's dad and brother. Just don't laugh at her, please, and try things with her, please. Thank you, bye. May maybe asked me, would you recommend a vegan diet for health, moral and environmental reasons? There's a lot of controversy around me and veganism lately. I'm sure you guys know all about that. Health-wise, it depends obviously on what you're eating. You could go vegan and you could just eat peanut butter and bread and jam all day, every day, and nothing else. So it depends on what you're eating as a vegan. If your mental health is already in a good place and you've done your research on all the different food groups and the supplements and vitamins and all that kind of stuff, then absolutely try it, see how you feel, and note down any changes in how your body's working and how you're looking and all that kind of stuff, and judge it for yourself. Moral, it depends on what your morals are. So I find that throughout life my morals have adapted and changed, or my understanding of my morals has changed. For example, I don't morally agree with the mistreatment of animals. I am not against the actual death of an animal for the purpose of food. Animals kill other animals. We've always killed animals. A lot of them would kill me had they the chance. Yeah, environmental reasons. So, okay, I have to adjust myself. So hear me out for 2 little seconds. Most of the world eat animal products, okay? So like 99 point something %, whatever it is. And it is known that a lot of people who try out a plant-based diet end up going back. It's a very new concept, and the term vegan is a very new word. So basically the production of a lot of animal foods has huge impact on the environment in a negative way. However, what I feel like would have a massive impact and is more important is to encourage everyone to eat less animals and to support local and to boycott all these processed junky animal product foody things. So try out the alternatives, and that's what I do. I don't eat much animal products. If everyone did what I did, you'd see a massive change in how things work. And it does require eating less animals, because not everyone can have like local organic everything provided for them, because that's not sustainable either. So yes, being vegan is good for the environment if you can stick with it, definitely, but know that you don't have to. That's not your only option. There's a lot of other things that contribute to our environment. So I walk, I cycle, I use energy saving light bulbs, I try to minimize how much electricity that I use, I recycle. You know, you have to look at your whole lifestyle. Okay guys, my battery died. That was a bit of a disaster, but thumbs up, and come back next week for a Food Diary Friday video from LA. Yay! And thanks for watching, and I love you, and I'll see you again soon.